Okay, so let's talk about random numbers in Java, and in most programming languages, they're done this way also. So if you want to get a random number in Java, you actually have to use one of the Java libraries. So to use a library, and a library is just a bunch of functions and methods and classes that you can use that have already been set up for you. You just say import, and then you put in the path to the library. And I just happen to know that it's java.util.random, like so. So now that we're importing this library, we have access to what's called the random object in Java. So to make a random object, you just need to make it like you would an int. So an int x equals 7, but for a random object, you say random, random being the type, you give it a name, rand, equals, and then you create a new object. And to do that, you type new random, and then you open and close the brackets like so. Now, this random object is going to allow us to create random numbers. So let's just test it out. Let's see what's going on. So for int I equals 0, I is less than 100, I plus plus, like this, system.out, out.print line here, and we'll say rand.next int. Let's just see what happens. Whoa, we definitely got random numbers, but they're all over the place. And that's because when you get a random int, you're just going to get a random integer, positive or negative, to the highest number ints are capable of storing. If you want to limit it, you can actually pass in an argument to the next int function. You can say 50. And if I press play, now what we get isn't numbers between 1 and 50 like we might expect. It's actually numbers between 0 and 49. The number you put into next int is exclusive, so you'll never actually get 50. If you want numbers from 1 to 50, you just have to add 1 to it. So we can do math with this as well. This will return an integer, and then we just do that integer plus 1. So now if I press play, there'll be no zeros, but there'll probably be a 50 in there somewhere. I think I just saw one. Whatever, we're not gonna go look for it, but I assure you that there is a 50 in there somewhere. Now, random generation is a funny thing, and I'm not really gonna get into the details, but random generation in programs is actually pseudo-random, which means it uses functions like sine waves or something like that, and does calculations that give us seemingly random numbers, but they're not actually random. And this is really well demonstrated by the fact that inside the random function, you can actually put what's called a seed. And the seed is just a number that tells the random function to use the number you have given to begin the randomness. But what's going to happen is that the series of random numbers you will get when you put a seed will always be the same. So if I put the seed 10 into random and I press play, I can scroll up to the top and I see that I get 14, 31, 44, 41, 47. If I press play again, even though I get this random amount of numbers, I get the same series, 14, 31, 44, 41, 47. And that's because the way that your randomness is calculated, whatever number you feed it to begin with will always cause the same chain of numbers to occur. So that's it for random. And if you want to use random numbers, use this method. You can also get random numbers of different kinds. So you could next double, right? You could get next bool if you wanted a boolean instead. They are available to you if that's what you need as a tool. That's it for now. If you want to see any more tutorials or student-made content, make sure to check out the TVM YouTube page, and I'll see you next time.